Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Petersen Museum here in Los Angeles, where we have a very special announcement regarding MotoAmerica and, of course, the racing legacy of Bobby and Graham Rahal. There's been a lot of speculation in the MotoAmerica paddock about, is there a new team coming? What is that going to look like? Well, we're going to answer most of those questions today. Before we get going, I want to introduce everyone to my right. Graham Rahal is a 6-time IndyCar race winner and co-owner of the newly formed Rahal Ducati Moto. Bobby Rahal, 1986 Indy 500 and 3-time IndyCar Series champion, also co-owner of Rahal Ducati Moto. Wayne Rainey, 3-time 500cc world champion, AMA Hall of Famer, and president of MotoAmerica. Michael Mayall, VP Corporate Development for XPEL. And Ben Spies, 5-time AMA champion, 2009 World Superbike champion, AMA Hall of Fame inductee, and team principal of Rahal Ducati Moto. Welcome, gentlemen. So excited.
Thank you.
So thank you very much to everyone being here today. And Graham, I'd love to start with you because I know that there's a really special story about how and when your love for Ducati started.
Well, first off, it's great to be here today, and thank you to everybody that came out. This is an exciting moment for me. I know for Mike as well. We've been working on this with XPEL for an extended period of time now, and you know, it's, the love of Ducati goes back a long ways. And for me, starting, I believe my first store we opened right in the middle, right towards the end of COVID. But Ducati was always a massive passion for me. When I was a little kid, Dad always had whatever the latest, greatest Ducati was, you know, 996, the 998, and so on. It was ingrained in my head, the beauty of a Ducati and what it sounded like, what it looked like. And they were always yellow, ironically. And so when XPEL came on board, it was the perfect culmination of my love and ironically my favorite color on a Ducati to then put it together with XPEL, to have XPEL yellow on these bikes, to see the Panigale V2. We couldn't be more excited to finally get this out, to put this all together, and to be able to let the cat out of the bag today. There has been a lot of speculation. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of emails. And so it's good to be able to let everybody see what we're doing today and move forward.
I love that. And obviously a legacy of racing 4 wheels. Why did you and your dad decide to go to 2?
Well, like I just said, you know, with Ducati Indianapolis and Ducati Cleveland, which are my 2 stores, you know, we believe in racing and winning on Sunday and then selling on Monday. And so for us, this was the perfect way to continue to grow our brands. And through our connection with XPEL, through my company, my paint protection company, Rahal Paint Protection, and through our car dealerships, the Bobby Ray Automotive Group, it was, again, a perfect synergy. In a way, for us, I felt to bring XPEL to a new market. I'll let Mike speak to that, but to a new market of power sports that potentially, at least we see, is untapped. It's something that we have pushed and promoted through our stores specifically. But I believe XPEL is poised for some great things to this program. So, like I said, this has been 2+ years in the making of working with Wayne and Jay Root and Richard and Terry and everybody have been phenomenal to try to get Ducati, MotoAmerica, and our family, you know, kind of in line to be able to go racing. And of course, like I just said, without XPEL, we certainly wouldn't be here. So we're very grateful to them and their partnership, and we couldn't be more excited.
We're also really excited because there's a long-term plan. You have a vision, and would you talk about that?
Yeah, so for us, this is a multi-year plan. We have a multi-year agreement. We want to continue to see this grow. We believe that MotoAmerica is on the verge of great things. We've seen some amazing movement, and bringing in a guy like Ben, I think legitimizes us and our focus and our intentions of where we want to head. You know, when the call first came to me that, hey, Ben's interested in speaking to you, I'm not going to lie. You know, there was a moment, a fanboy moment there in me that, you know, I grew up. I always have been a massive motorcycle racing fan. And I watched this guy in '08 in the pouring rain in Indianapolis. It's when I realized that I'm not man enough to ride one of these in action. But to be able to watch guys like himself and Nicky and all those people race for all those years really energized my love and passion for this. So we're not here to be a flash in the pan. We certainly want to make sure that this is a long-term commitment. With Ducati, it's a company that I'm very proud to be associated with. And again, a brand that I have a tremendous amount of love for. And as I just said, with XPEL's commitment to us and to our program, I think there are a lot of exciting things ahead.
So as a small business owner, which you have many of, this is actually your first venture as an owner of a racing team, and you have your dad's support, so how will you lean on him?
Well, this one was fortunately my decision. I got the famous phone call that I've talked about many times when it came to RLL. He built this beautiful new building, and I got the phone call saying, "Hey, my expectation is you're going to take this over." That was a father-induced decision. This one was something that, well, and like I said, Dad and I have always been super passionate about bikes. My love of this came from him. Now maybe I've taken it to a whole nother level, but I love the brand, and for us to partner together on this was a great first step. Dad's had his eye. I'll let him speak to it for motorcycle racing for quite some time as well. He's been longtime friends with Wayne and Terry and Richard, so it made a lot of sense for us to do this. But in this case, too, it made a lot of business sense. Between all of our companies, all of the synergies that we have, whether it be XPEL, whether it's Ducati, whether it's our Ducati dealerships, our car dealerships, our paint protection company, there was a lot of reasons for this to be a great platform for us to continue to raise awareness of our brands and continue to try to grow. It's a competitive world out there. We're all trying to find a niche and an edge. And I felt strongly that Dad and I and our racing experience in general combined with Ben's, and then, like I said, the backing of XPEL, that this was a platform for us to take off.
And Bobby, we'll transition over to you. I would imagine that this new adventure means as much to you. Is it important for you to continue that Rahal racing legacy?
Oh boy, well, yeah, I think so. I mean, this has been my entire life, as long as I can remember, and this is something that I've always been very interested in. I've had bikes, as Graham mentioned. Over the years, I got to know Freddie Spencer, through Honda, and Eddie Lawson, and Colin Edwards, and a bunch of others. And I have nothing but the greatest respect for people who ride these things, because it's like Graham said, they're a lot more talented and a lot braver than I'll ever be. And it's just thrilling to be a part of this, and to, I've known Richard now, and Terry I've known for many, many years. And to finally put this all together, this has been probably about 8 years ago. We were very close to putting something together, and it fell through at the last second. It's always been something that's been of great interest, and thanks to Mike here, and of course, as Graham mentioned, this is really our automobile dealership group has joined XPEL in a more extensive way than we have in the past, which is good for us as a dealer group and good for the XPEL people. And then, of course, putting this together, it's good for Graham. So I'm excited. I'm more of a background person in this because I don't really know anything other than they're beautiful machines, and I've always loved Ducatis. But this is great to be a witness to this great partnership between Graham, Mike, Ben. I mean, I'm really pumped about. I'm pumped about Daytona, right? And that's a couple months, 4 months away or so. So I just told my secretary today, you better put all the MotoGP races, but the MotoAmerica races on my calendar, which my wife is probably going to divorce me if I go to all those races. But some things have to go. Not really.
Not really. You said that you're going to be a background player. So what does that actually mean? What's your role?
Well, I mean, I'm super, I shouldn't say this in front of him, but I'm super proud of what he's done, whether it's through the Ducati stores. last year, I think they were the best performing Ducati franchise in the country, or they had the highest increase in sales, I believe. They are recognized by Ducati in Italy. I mean, that's something that I'm very proud of him for the effort he puts in. And he puts in tremendous effort, not just in Ducati, but in Graham Rahal Performance and, you know, the purveying of high-end sports cars. If you're looking for a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Carrera GT Porsche, he's the guy to go to, and he has a great clientele. So I'm really proud of that. And so for me, this is his baby, and I'm here. I'm the guy behind the glass door, and it says, "In case of emergency, break glass." That's where I'm at.
Thank you very much. Hi, Wayne.
Hello.
Hi. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I saw the mic was
I'm
in your
here.
hand. I know.
Yep.
I'm so excited. So a new team, a new sponsor. How do you feel that Rahal Ducati Moto and XPEL joining the series will benefit MotoAmerica?
Yeah, this is wonderful news. This is something that my partners, Richard, Terry, and Chuck, have been dreaming about. Having the iconic name of Rahal in our paddock. You can hear their passion about, all the work that it took to get here. Last week I was just in Yellowstone with my wife on a vacation, but I was getting messages from Graham about how important it was to get a certain number for his bike. And I just thought that, that passion and desire to have a presence, to look good on the starting line was very important. So I think what they're going to bring from their racing experience and their heritage, I think they're going to raise the profile of what MotoAmerica is. I think they're going to help all the teams that are currently in the paddock. And bringing Ben on board, they want to get there in a hurry. So when they show up at Daytona, I wouldn't be surprised if they're on the podium and maybe even win that thing. So it'd be fun to watch them.
Yeah, and sitting to your left is, of course, Ben Spies, and we heard how excited Graham is. How excited do you think the fans are going to see to have him back?
I've spoken to Ben more in the last couple of months than I have in my lifetime. So I know how passionate he is, and he wants to be ready, and he feels he has a responsibility to Graham and Bobby. I think with his experience, he wants to be there in a hurry. I think, he can help the riders and help get the team up to speed. I mean, it is just racing, and that's what we all do. It's all the same. But, having them watch these two-wheel guys, they're going to need a guy like Ben to help shortcut. So I think it's a great acquisition that Ben's back in our paddock. It's been a while. But from the questions that he's asked me, he's very curious, so he wants to be here.
I love that. Ben, we'll get to you in just a minute, okay? Michael, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, thank you. For those who might not be that familiar with XPEL, could you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, so XPEL is a global supplier of protective films and coatings. We have a wide array of exterior and interior protection products for vehicles, boats, planes, and also window films for automobiles, residential and commercial real estate as well.
Okay. Why did you decide to get involved?
Well, in motorsports, XPEL has, we've been doing it for many, many years. And, we've got probably our most well-known affiliations in IndyCar with Scott McLaughlin. And, but our roots go pretty deep in motorsports globally, just in different facets of racing. And, when this opportunity came about with Rahal and Ducati, I mean, it's the Rahal family name has such a rich history in motorsports. And it was just for us, it was just very logical for us to look at expanding our footprint on the two wheels in motorsports, and especially with, the Rahal and Ducati name as well.
And how do you plan on supporting the Rahal Ducati team?
So, with our protection products, they're designed to keep this exceptional piece of machinery here looking just like the way it is now. I mean, that's the way our products were created and designed to do that, to keep that showroom finish. And we're going to be collaborating with Rahal and Ducati as far as an exact game plan, which, we can talk about later. But other than that, our protection products, from the minute it gets on the racetrack to hopefully when we're in victory lane, this bike's going to look just like the way it does.
We love that. Thank you very much. Ben, I promised that we were going to get to you. It's your turn. There were, of course, rumors circulating that you were going to be back in the paddock, and here we are. It's a little bit different than before, but Can you talk to us about what your role is going to be with the Rahal Ducati Moto team?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's nervous, but excited. I haven't had a job like this before. I was the rider, so it was a little easier. But when we started talking about it, I was just I knew the opportunity was great. I always love to work with the riders, so I'll be the team principal, working mainly with the riders. On the weekends, the team communication, sponsors, all the stuff that I can help with.
And coaching too, right?
Yeah. Like I said, working on, during the weekends and even when we're looking at testing what the riders need to work on or what we need to work on, trying to see that, from far away and get it done fast. So that's what I'll try to do.
Okay, so I know a lot of people in this room are probably looking for this answer of who's the rider lineup. What can you tell us?
We're close to signing 2 really good riders right now for the 15 and the 19 XPEL Ducati. Can't say it yet, but like I said, we're excited about it, and should be in a couple weeks or something.
So once you have the riders, everything in place, all the equipment that you need, and you get to Daytona, talk to us about what your expectations are.
To win, I mean, that's what we always want to do. Racing's racing. It's hard. We got a lot, ahead of us that we still got to build infrastructure and to do everything. But I'm not going to lie, it's the Rahals and it's Ducati and me with them, and I would be lying if it's we don't want to win race 1. But we got to go through everything and start from scratch. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and you guys are stepping into the super sport class with hopes to move up to Superbike, is that right?
Yep, 2 600s year 1, and then we obviously hope to go to Superbike year 2, might be year 3, just kind of depends on how things go, but that's the goal.
I love that. So winning is clearly woven into the DNA of our panelists here, and I am so excited to see what's happening stepping into 2024. So with that, I'd like to transition into questions from our audience and also questions from Zoom, where I have right here. So do I have any members in the audience that have a question that you'd like to ask? Yes.
I think it's something we actually were literally discussing some of these options just a minute ago, Ben and I, and it's something I think we're looking at. Dad, I think our family has always taken a lot of pride in helping move people up and give them opportunities within the sport. That's critical. Certainly something we want to look at. Starting in super sport was what we wanted to do because we're not ignorant to the fact that this is new for us. And while Wayne said it is the same, the skin of it is, but there's a lot of differences, and that's why you bring somebody like Ben in, somebody who's got so much experience on 2 wheels and winning, right, and being at the top. And that, for us, Superbike has always been a conversation piece. But obviously that's a big step in price and budgets and so on, and we want to make sure that the rules are clear as we go forward. And one of the things Wayne's been great about is talking to me about the direction of the future of MotoAmerica, but also how FIM and everything else plays into that. So we kind of want to see what that's going to be before we jump in. But for sure, we have no set plans to be running any other categories at this time. But to give people an opportunity is something we will definitely be looking at. Well, it's funny because it's different but the same in many ways, as we just talked about. For instance, obviously with Öhlins, for instance on the bikes, for the forks and the rear shock and all of that. I mean, we use Öhlins in IndyCar, and we have in Team Rahal going back in the day, and then Rahal Letterman Lanigan now has always had a very close relationship with Öhlins since the Swedish Kenny Brack days in the late 90s. So there's a lot of the same people. There's a lot of the similar contacts, and I think that those synergies will benefit us as we go forward. If I'm honest, at this stage, this has been 2 years in the making. The rumor mill didn't start to really spread until the last, say, 2 weeks. So we did a pretty good job of keeping this under wraps for a long, long time. And we've done that by design. So we haven't, a lot of the people that needed to know are aware of what is happening, but today is a big moment to let everything out and kind of see what comes of it. We're very prepared on the back end and operationally what we want to do. But we've also had to keep this, very quiet for an extended period of time. So today's an exciting day for us to let the cat out of the bag, and now a lot of those conversations can be had in a much deeper manner.
Anyone else from the crowd? Yes.
Right now the FIM is looking at doing something. I think they just made an announcement to do something with the World Superbike rules for Superbike. What is yeah, there's some of that, but our rules are set for another couple of years. So our stuff's in place as is. We don't have any. We haven't been talking about changing anything until I think at least 26, I believe it is. So right now our rules are set, and our teams have made the investment, and that's we're just going to keep that as is. We don't see there's some talk about maybe super sport moving up in the years to come, but at the moment we're just going to keep it as it's currently laid out. No, we're not talking about that right now, no.
I received a question from Zoom, and they are interested in the significance of the numbers that you're running with 15 and 19.
So the numbers, the significance is just Ben and me. So 15 has been my number in IndyCar for 10 years, 11 years now. At 19, obviously, Ben had some incredibly successful years on 19. So when we started to get together, it was either going to be 11 and 15 or 15 and 19. There was no other real options in our head. Both the 11 and 19 were Ben's, and that was it. And what Wayne talked about, I was been blowing him up the last couple of weeks to make sure that we could get 15, and we're very appreciative that we were able to make the changes that were necessary to allow us to do that. That's literally the focus behind it. You'll see that even the coloring of the 19 on here is the same kind of the patriotic scheme that we have in IndyCar. And so it was just a nice connection and synergy between us and IndyCar.
I love that. Ben, is that an honor for you to see your number back on track?
Yeah, I had really good luck with that number. We won a world title with it, so I was kind of honored when he called me and he was like, let's look at doing this, and I was like, that's totally fine with me. So, we put it together, and that's what it'll be.
If we have any other questions from the audience, we don't have anyone else asking questions from Zoom. So before you gentlemen go away, Alex, if you'd like a photo of, we do have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think first off, we've always had an amazing relationship with Ducati for many, many years, and it started long before I had the stores, and it's been something that we talked about for an extended period of time. As I said, even when you look at our car dealerships, we've been a Honda dealer since 1989, and we race Hondas on Sundays, and we sell them on Monday. And for me, it was the same thing here. When we took over the store in Indianapolis first, is that something that we can do? And then, of course, we got Cleveland about 18 months ago. Cleveland opened on a new market, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. We're excited about Mid-Ohio and all of that, what's to come there, because that's right down the road from our Cleveland dealership. But it's also Dad's from Medina, I'm from Columbus, so it's the Rahal family in Ohio is important. So we wanted to bring Cleveland on board with Ducati as well. It's kind of TBD on how deep the relationship goes. I have a great relationship with Paulo and everybody at Corsa, as does Ben. And so for me, we've spoken to him a lot. We really want to help build the brands. I mean, that's a critical thing for us. And Ducati's had a lot of success in MotoAmerica lately. Jay Root's been a big part of that and what they've seen. And we want to keep that going. And certainly want to provide a positive platform for Ducati to promote. And as Wayne said, be an asset to the series and kind of tie all these things together. We wouldn't be here otherwise. So we'll see how it all develops. We are a customer team. Yeah. The beauty of Supersport as well for us, for me, is a lot of the this bike was a bike that we can get from one of our stores. Obviously, there's a lot of upfitting that needs to be done, but the synergies of making sure this program has a positive impact on our business as well is critical. And one of the nice things about Supersport was our ability to provide internally a lot of the componentry that we needed. And that's a real positive for us.
It's going to be more up to them, yeah.
That's where, for me, it's really important to have Ben, because the way we operate in IndyCar is totally different. I mean, that's, helmets and all of that stuff is normally all of our suit, at least, and the Nomex and shoes and everything else are team contracts, not driver necessarily. So these are reasons that Ben's kind of input is critical to us.
Anyone else? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an outstanding morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And before you all disappear, if you'll come over so Alec and Alex can get a group shot, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in Daytona.